Today, I'm talking about the Israel overhaul of American social media. And it seems to have gone under the radar because I've been watching Fox News, the CNN. I have not heard one person talk about this or any of the broadcasts mentioning this, only on social media, which probably is going to end soon since Israel's taking over. So I just wanted to break down what's going on. And Netanyahu is he's not even being shy about it. He's being blatant, like, yes, we're taking over. And we're going to change the algorithms. We're going to buy your influencers and we're going to control the narrative. And he's literally said it out loud. And I have video of that. But what I'm concerned about is like no one seems to be talking about it in mainstream media. I guess, which is not too surprising since they have their own agendas and they're all the owners of the mainstream media. And I'll talk about this later, is pretty much controlled by Israel as well. So it's no surprise there. And lastly, they want to come after X. So I'm hoping to God Elon Musk does not kind of succumb to all this. So have a listen here to Netanyahu. He is literally telling you, I'm taking over and this is my plan.
Christian influencers. Okay. You said, we talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane, they're movies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay, and you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is
Followers.
TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. Exactly. Very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpart? Yes.
So these are the influencers here that were all at that meeting. But it just amazes me that he's just so blatant. Like he's the teacher here, I'm in charge, and this is the game plan. This is what we're gonna do, and this is what the end result's gonna be. And it's just amazing to me how it's so blatant of what they're doing. Again, here are the influencers. And since this has actually been going on for a while now, because you can see here from some court filings and even from WikiLeaks that this started a long time ago. They've registered these companies. So it says WikiLeaks releases U.S. Department of Justice filings on October 1st, 2025, detailing the Esther Project, a covert operation by Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs through Bridges Partners LLC. The initiative allocates $900,000 from June to November 25th, 2025 to recruit and pay 14 to 18 American social media influencers up to $7,000 per post for content defending Israel's Gaza actions on TikTok and Instagram. This effort, part of Israel's $150 million annual foreign influence budget, addresses declining U.S. public support amid the Gaza war, where over 41,000 deaths has been reported since October 2023. And here we have some of the court filings here. Yeah, this is a registered company. I think they're in Delaware. But yeah, it's a registered company, and they are literally getting $7,000 per post, which is just crazy. And so these are a lot of the influencers that and you can see the reach that they're getting in the millions. And these are the people that are going to be teaching us what to think about Israel. But what I think the problem here, oh, here's another good statistic here, and it shows you the actual amounts, 15,000. It's just crazy. So essentially, they're just buying their narrative. But what I think is, I guess it's not funny, but what the problem is, like I said, I have kids this age, like 18 to 21, 22-year-old boys, and they're onto this. They are not paying attention. They are those influencers. I think it's causing the exact opposite effect that they think it's going to cause. And when I was looking at the anti-Semitism that's over the last 20 years, it's since when they try to essentially muzzle you is when the anti-Semitism goes up. It's almost like when if you keep playing the race card, it's just going to make people more racist because we're like, we can't. No, like I said before, if you're being an asshole, you're just being an asshole. It doesn't matter, if you're a Jew, you're black, what. But then you can say, well, that you're saying that because of the way I am, or you're a Jew, or your race. That's not it. That's not it, and it just makes people more angry and creates that anti-Semitism. But essentially, we're being told we're going to get paid by these influencers, and I've looked at a couple of these influencers' accounts, and it's like, I don't know, they really think that we're gonna change our minds because of that. And they're really, I guess the influencers are going after the younger generation because they say that it's the 30 and under that are really against Israel and pro-Palestine. But I think that's really changing. If you look at the Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, even Megyn Kelly has come out and said, look, enough's enough already. And she's not saying and literally she's getting attacked and she's not saying I'm not for or against. All she's saying is it's enough. It's over. Let's just move on. Too many people have been killed. We need to move on. And she's getting attacked. It's just nonstop. And I think people have had enough of it. And to blatantly come out and say, yep, I'm just going to pay for influencers and you guys are all going to change your mind. It's just not going to happen. And then there's the other part here is the Farah. They have to come out and say, yes, we're a foreign entity that's coming out to literally advertise and create this propaganda machine in your country. And they have to report from FARA. And they're just, will be interesting if they do. It's for government affairs to influence policy and the public. And that's essentially what he's doing. They're there to influence the public. And he literally says it. We need to change everybody's mind against Israel. But I think it's wearing very thin. And then we go on to TikTok. And so now that Oracle's taken over for TikTok, their algorithm, they've already been housing the data, but now they're going to control the algorithm. So essentially they're going to control the plumbing to get where messages. So essentially it's going down a pipe and they're going to decide, yes, this flow can go and this flow is going to go over here and it's going to end. So essentially they're going to control the flow of information through TikTok and Instagram. And we all know what's going to be. And then who's at the helm? Larry Ellison. And he is the number one outside donor towards the Israel Defense Force. He's donated over $26 million to the IDF. He is a big Zionist. Whose side is he going to be on? This is the guy that's going to hold the button to say which direction all that information is going to go. And he said this was last year. He quoted this. I'll make this bigger so everybody can see this. Millionaire Larry Ellison says a vast AI-fueled surveillance system can ensure citizens will be on their best behavior. Yeah, that's the guy that's going to be control of the information building through TikTok. And then you have Peter Thiel and Palantir. They're all surveillance companies. And what are they? What best behavior are we supposed to be on? If people are worried that Israel is just infiltrating this whole entire country, I haven't it seems like they're attacking us from within. They're literally coming in and they're attacking us and coming on the outside. This database billionaire and his son, David, are Trump's favorites. The family could soon control an empire that includes CBS, Paramount, Warner, CNN, and of course, now they have taken over TikTok. And then you have this, it's a complete Ellison media dynasty. His son's taking over CBS. They are literally going to control. And then you have Paramount Pictures, and it's just going to be this diluted information like package of all this media companies, and it's going to be filtered through Oracle. They're going to have their thumb on the pulse of all of it. And I just think that I think we've all had enough. And I found this quote. Well, here I also saw this experiment, which I thought was very interesting. It says it's the Ash experiment, otherwise known as the conformity experiments, where a series of studies conducted by psychologist Solomon Ash during the 1950s, they found that people were willing to ignore reality and give incorrect answers in order to conform to the rest of the group. And that's essentially exactly what they're trying to do to us, you know? And I also found this quote from Ford. My dad used to quote Henry Ford all the time. And I really thought it was interesting. That's why I kind of pulled this quote out. I said, "There's nothing that the international Jew fears so much as the truth or any hint of the truth about himself or his plans." And that's exactly it. They don't want us to know the truth. They don't want us to see it. I think what's going to be the most detrimental thing is if they take over X. That will be, I guess someone's going to have to create another platform, because even Trump's True Social, he's obviously pro-Israel. And it's unfortunate. But I think what's happening is the exact opposite effect is happening. The young people, like I said, my kids are just like, what the hell? Like, why are you trying to control what I think? And they don't want to be controlled. They want to think independently. And when I look at that room full of influencers, they're not influencing any of my kids. I can guarantee you that. It's just there's no substance to anything that they say. And then you have this older generation. They're certainly not listening to those influencers, but they're going to, if they're going to try to control the 30 and unders, they better start. And that's where their focus is. While they're focusing on that 30 and under group, they're losing the 30 and above, 40 and above. They're losing that demographic as well, because we're all opening our eyes and seeing what's out there, and people are talking about it. They don't want people to talk. They don't want people to post. They don't want people to talk about it, but we're all talking about it. And even the mainstream media, and this is what is most frustrating, is the mainstream media is not talking about it, because Rupert Murdoch, he owns Fox. He's pro-Israel. CNN, you have Larry Ellison. Of course, they're not going to talk about it. So it really is up to independent creators to talk about this and get the word out and say, hey, enough is enough. Like I said, I did a video yesterday, and I literally don't even listen to the news anymore. I just have my, independent creators that I listen to. I love to listen to them. I do my own research online, but it's just, it is a complete genocide over there. And they just want us to keep going and keep going. And then they're going to come after Iran again. And then it's going to be another war that we don't want to be a part of. And it's just going to be this never ending battle unless it ends right now. And it seems like instead of our relationship with Israel coming to an end, it seems like it's okay. They feel like they're losing us. So they're trying to reignite, to trying to get that honeymoon phase back and reignite the love. And hey, remember we used to feel this way about each other way back then? But it's not going to happen. I really think it's just at some point, even in relationships, some points when it's gone too far, there's been too much damage, you can't come back. And it has to be some point where, you have to put America first again. It really, it's crazy how it's just been so infiltrated with Israel, and it's awful what's going on right now. Like I said, Trump has gotten millions and millions and millions of dollars. $230 million he's received from AIPAC and the Israeli lobbyist. And I'm going to do another video about that tomorrow, about how many, I have it broken down to how many politicians and what they're receiving from AIPAC. And it's just a complete denial of how much influence that they have over them. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I am super frustrated with how so blatant it seems like. When someone's trying to make a fool of you, they do it right in front of you. They don't they think you're so stupid, they do it right in front of your face. Like, they don't even do it behind your back. They're making a fool of you in front of you because you're so stupid. That's what it feels like to me. We're so dumb that I'm going to literally tell you on camera that I'm going to hire these people. I'm going to pay them per post. I'm going to filter your algorithm so you can only listen to people like them that can control the narrative. So I can get my way and I can change the way you think, like that experiment I just brought up. So, anyways, guys, please let me know your thoughts. Please like, subscribe, share. I had some comments on my last video, and for some reason, they just got erased. And I usually respond to every single comment, but a bunch of them just got erased off my last video. So, if I didn't respond, that's why. But I love your comments. I love the insight that you guys have. And it's just so interesting to hear other people's point of view because it seems like you're not listening to mainstream media either. It seems like every comment that I have is not coming from, oh, the guy in Fox said this, or the guy in CNN said this. Like it's all different people and have done research that know the history and have really, you know, sensical comments to all these things that are going on. And it's really good. Even when I talk to my boys, they're very much like I said, they're not being influenced. There's no if you they're the type of kids that if you say, I'm gonna like they're influencers and I'm gonna influence you, they'll go, huh, I don't even trust you. If you're gonna act like an influencer, I'm gonna they actually they love Nick Fuentes. They love him. Um, so they're getting a lot of, but they're not even accepting everything he's saying. They're saying, okay, I hear what he's saying, and then going to do their own research on it. My son literally called me today and asked me if did I get all my vaccinations? And because I'm reading now and what all those vaccinations can do, and should I be worried about? So they're doing the research. They're 22-year-old doing research about all the vaccinations and how it could affect them and stuff. So I think that thank God people are out there and doing their own research and asking questions. So please like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.